Hi, this is Lakhi Singh, the property fixer, here to fix you and help you grow your property and your business affairs to the next level. So if you're looking for knowledge and insights about how to get involved in property, solve your problems about scalability in your property business, then do watch our 20-minute clips. We've taken them from hundreds and thousands of videos that we've taken over the last 6 months, and we've broken down into simple chunks which can make them useful for you. So do watch and do subscribe to our YouTube channel underneath as well.
Companies, and they work like self-employed. We have a contract with them like subcontractors. So how we work? The client called to us, and me and my son, we're going to see the place. And, of course, we give the quote, and when the client disagree, we sign a contract. Then the worker starting to work, and
Excellent, Samir. Okay, so you signed the contract. So you do everything formally. Okay, I'm going to ask Lakhi Singh. How important, Lakhi Singh, are contracts and formality when you do business? Or do you think it doesn't make a difference and everything should be done in a handshake?
I think in any business, even if you've got family members and you've got anybody working with you, having things in writing is always good, because if something goes wrong, that you're not expecting, then having yourself covered is very important. Otherwise, you could be, especially when you get into larger contracts, the margins are a bit tight. You only may be looking to make 15% on certain contracts. Just that one margin of mistake or a delay by a couple of months could basically make you in a break-even position, so you make no money. You're just basically spending money. So I think contracts are critical to any sort of business venture that you're getting into with anybody else.
And also it's very important insurance as well, because in our work we working with different materials. Some of them are very expensive. For us, it's very important to have good insurance, because everything can happen during the work.
Good.
Then after sign the contract, and we show our insurance as well to client, payments, everything we do by invoice and transfer.
Excellent. Okay, so there is a requirement to do formal and formalities, and I think there is a school out there of business that doesn't like formality, doesn't like to do paperwork, doesn't like to follow a processing system. Can I ask you, Samira, do you use a software to manage your projects, or do you do them on ledgers and sheets? How do you manage your projects?
My son, he is the builder. He has 7 years experience like builder. He learned different skills. So he organized all the work. He organized all the workers. He managed our projects. So this part of the work, he doing everything. I doing all the financial part of the work.
Excellent. Okay.
Contract, sign the contract. So we doing. We try to doing our business rightly with all knowledge about the law. And,
excellent.
Everything. Of course, our work need to be quality. So for that, we try to choose. We choose the workers
Excellent. Okay, Trisha, I'm going to flip over to Trisha now, Simero, just for a second. Trisha, you did a project, you say. Do you use software systems when you do your projects or any work? Do you rely on spreadsheets, or do you not have any formality at all? Do you like just to go with, you know, a handshake and a wing and a prayer and flying by the seat of your pants?
No, there needs to be a plan in place. So you need to have your project schedule in place. Your contract needs to be watertight with your builder so that you're aware of what the expectations are, what's included within the project, what's excluded, what the process would be for any variations, what your time frame for the delivery of each of the various stages would need to be. So it's very important, and the communication as well throughout is so important, because if you're relying on others to do, you know, your others to do the work that ultimately you're going to be passing over to your client, then you need to make sure that the communication is on and that you're on board, and if something is wrong, that you're ahead of it and that you work out a solution quickly together. And it might just be something, you know, we've had recently with obviously COVID stuff, we've had plaster issues, we've had door delivery issues, we've had wrong window deliveries, that type of thing. And it's looking at the project schedule and seeing what you can do and what you can move without it impacting.
Do you actually use a software for your schedule, or are you working off spreadsheets or documents? How are you managing?
I use a standard template on Excel.
Excellent.
It's one that I've used for a long time, so I just evolve.
So coincidentally, we've got two
additions, and it means.
Coincidentally, we've got two project managers at the same time, one in the north of the country, one in the south. So tell me, Trisha, do you go south of the border? Do you go into England, and are you thinking of going into England to do work? Or do you keep it nice and tight in Glasgow only?
It's across central Scotland, and I'm not averse to, and one of the things that I am looking is remotely doing stuff, and I know that there's a few people who are currently doing that. I know that Gillian Green's moved to Scotland she's doing the projects in England. You've got Harvey in London, he's doing stuff in the northeast and things, so it's not something I'm averse to, but I want to strengthen
technology for that
market.
Is that using technology? Is it using technology?
Yeah, so there's different software systems that I have within the business in terms of CRM, documents, MyDocSafe and Podio. I use Trello to keep track of the various different projects that we're working on. So different types of technology.
Excellent.
And of course,
Lakhi,
everything's on our phone nowadays.
Lakhi, do you rely upon software or CRMs or systems, or do you do things in London on a handshake?
I think some things can be done on a handshake in London, because, but not talking about property now. I'm talking about certain types of property deals, or certain things are actually about relationships. And if you know people well enough and they trust you, then some things can be done on a handshake because you've got past experience with somebody. But I think when it comes to detailed work like construction or things which are liable to go wrong, then it's liable to go wrong if you're talking about detail and you're talking about client lists or databases. Yeah, then it makes sense to have things in a CRM. So we've got a quite extensive CRM of about 100,000 contacts that we deploy with the email marketing. So we actually use systems effectively to email out to all our clients. So having every person in there and making an effective system is very part of our back-end process. So the IT team that's responsible is quite critical to the success of the nature of the type of business we do, because we work with about 6 or 7 different types of audiences, and having information about them and communicating with them is critical to the success of the business.
Okay. Okay, so you think software systems have some role apart from being fancy tools? Okay, Samira,
I think if you're a one-man band,
wow.
if you're a one-man band, then I think it doesn't make too much of a difference, because if you're networking or just trying to get to know people. But if you're trying to run a business that's going to scale up, like organizations like DMAC, presume they've got quite extensive databases and with different user restrictions and user rights about which clients belong to who. So I think they're critical parts of making those systems more effective and more easy to use are probably a critical part of any business, I should think, anyway.
Okay, yeah, okay. Samira, tell me then, what is the specialty of what you do then? Do you do refurbs? Do you do building? What's the specialty about your building team? What are you really special at?
More of our works is plastering, painting, and tiling. A lot of people just would like to refresh their house, looking to have new looking. So most of our work is that. We doing also extensions and lofts, but not very often. All the construction services, but most of the work is
okay. What type of budget do you normally work with? Is it 100,000, 200,000, $500,000? What's the budget that you can work in?
So right now we don't working with a big budget, of course. So depend of the client.
Yeah.
Depend of the client. What does the client would like? Depend of the clients. So clients now they're.
So average, what type of client do you have? How much money do they like to spend?
Sorry, I can't hear.
How much do your clients like to spend? What's the budget? What's the average? What type of spend do they like to do?
It's different from 2,000 till 10,000. This is about the painting, plastering, tiling. So when they would like extension and loft, they're from 30,000 and depends of the project, of course.
Okay, excellent. Okay, Trish, please tell me then. You're back into property. What's the model? What are you following? What's the model you said you were going to invest into a couple of properties. You held back because of COVID.
Yeah.
What's the
and I decided to do some additional training. So I've worked with a couple of different training schools, so one Progressive and two Paul McFadden Wealth. I should have been last weekend on Stephen Clark's refurb course, but unfortunately due to COVID, we're back in lockdown here in Glasgow. So I currently live in an area that's tier 4, so it's the highest restrictions and can't travel. Fife, where the training was taking place, was also lockdown, so cancelled, I'm afraid. So I'm a bit gutted about that one, because really looking forward to that training programme. So yeah, what I'm doing is a mix of...
Is that a pun, is it? Was
Sorry?
that a pun you made there? Was it a bit gutted about that? Booking our refurbs?
Yeah, true.
Very funny lady. I like that. Very witty. Okay, Lakhi Singh. Got two ladies. One who's obviously going to the training. Are these training courses any good, Lakhi Singh? Do they actually teach you anything? Or is it more just a way of them making money, teaching you about old rope? Lakhi Singh.
I think it's horses for courses. I think somebody like Trish, who's worked most of her life in sales and working with the high net clients, is trying to get into becoming a specialist in doing refurbs and projects. If you can control the cost of any project, then you can make money in property. So I think the angle that she's taking is really good. So I think the key thing here is that the training is horses for courses, because it's new to her. She's not done it before as a professional. There's a lot of regulation around really what you can and can't do. So you've got a lot of information for architects, interior designers, the quantity surveyor, the project manager. Obviously, she wants to be the project manager, and being a project manager requires certain skills and certain methodologies that you've got to adopt, and also understanding the requirements for a council and doing regular checks on the inspections on the property. So to be honest, you can't really know enough. So the more training you, but there is a cost and profit sort of warning on that, which is you don't want to be spending hundreds of thousands of pounds on actually getting training if that's all the money you've got, because you're going to lose all your capital. So I would actually start off possibly doing a lot more reading. You can actually pick up all the information you need by being hands-on, part hands-on and part doing your reading, and actually working with those 3 or 4, with your power team and property. So I think I don't think there's a right or wrong way of doing it. It all depends on the individual. So it's easy to say actually you can do it without training, but I wouldn't say it's that easy. So the other way of doing it, if you're short on money, because I think Trish might be in a fortunate position that she's actually saved her pennies and she can afford the training, tax free. So I would say that if you haven't got the budget, let's say you've got limited budget, then doing a lot of reading, building up a power team, and then talking to somebody like Trish who's been on the training and sharing resources could be quite a powerful way of doing it. Because if you've got a particular skill, maybe you're good at sourcing, or you've got your family are builders, you can actually reduce the cost of build, or you're a firm of architects that you're trying to get into investment. So there's many different ways of tackling it, basically. So that would be my opinion. Excellent.
Right. Okay, Lakhi Singh. Right. Okay. Excellent advice there from Lakhi Singh. Obviously, so he's thumbs up on training, and he says there's never enough knowledge you can gain. Samira, I think
I do support.
Pardon, sorry, Tricia. Yeah, fire away. I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Go on.
No, I just in response, absolutely agree in terms of the training. There needs to be an infinite sort of stop, but you also need to be supporting that with reading and podcasts and all of those good things throughout as well. I'm also
actually, yeah, okay.
I just on Lakhi, I'm a certified project manager, so I have the background there as well. So it's all about what you take out of the training. Even if I learn 10% more from training, for me, that it becomes a value because you can put it into practice.
Excellent. Okay, we've got a shout out to Cam Patel and Sajul Patel. Obviously, has taken a shine to Samira, and she's asking which areas in London do you operate? I know she's Sajal, she is based in Knightsbridge, and I'm assuming that she's in Knightsbridge and she operates within the square mile in that area, but I'll ask her. Samira, where do you operate your business? Where do you work and what type of work do you do? She's asking again. I have told everyone that she's into refurbs and construction, contracting, but